Not to toot our own horns or anything, but I think that's a pretty good record.
I think so too. From a couple basement boys.
Because just a couple of basement boys like, throwing down brewskis, recording Ray Bradbury.
There's a weird soundscape about Preacher Joe and Johnny Talent. And
there's weird kitschy nonsense and like an art house tune, and then
Right.
like a couple of like very solidly written, just like kind of like indie pop folksy numbers in there too.
Hey, how's it going? So I just released my album Penny Picture Show, and in the process of recording the songs for this album, we did a lot of cool, kind of experimental and sometimes goofy things in the studio to get the sounds that you hear on the final recording. So I thought it'd be fun to give you kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what we did to make up the final record, what you hear on the album. I recently got together with my good friend Brandon Williams, who helped produce and mix the record. He also did some of the great guitar work and keys that went into making the songs just kind of come together and come to life. And we listened through the album and talked about some of the production process, some of the cool and sometimes goofy things that we did in the studio to get the sounds that you hear on the final songs. And it was a good time hanging out. And this video today is that conversation between me and Brandon. It's a little long because it's we've listened through the entire album and talked about each song. So I've broken it down into chapters, song by song, so you can skip around as needed. And then I will go ahead and cut up the video into just single song videos and put all of them in a playlist together. But if you want to watch the entire conversation unedited, here it is. And so I hope you enjoy.
So you gotta get that label away. No free
Yeah,
advertising.
no,
gotta pay you
that
for
is-
that.
All right, I'm really bad at this shit, so you're gonna see how awkward we are on
that's so
this.
good.
Yeah. All right, so I'm here with my good friend Brandon, and audio engineering wizard and improviser extraordinaire. He doesn't like being called a jazz guitarist, although
Too much pressure.
too much pressure, but he's a very good jazz guitarist. We're hanging out in the basement. We're basement boying today.
It's the basement boys.
Just
dirty
hanging
old
out.
basement boys.
The dirty old bastard. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah. Okay, so we're hanging out and we're going to listen through the Penny Picture Show album. Brandon and I worked on that for a while.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
It ended up taking a lot longer than we had thought.
Either of us thought by far.
Initially, yeah. You got married during...
Yeah, lots of live events happened.
Right. Was that in the middle of COVID too?
Yes, COVID was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
There was other things that I can't remember now that kept coming up as well.
Right.
If it wasn't me, it was you, and then it was both, and then it just ended up being weird and long.
Yeah, but it, slowly kind of eked its way out and turned out into a pretty cool album.
Yeah.
So we met in 2019, 2020, early 2020.
Yeah, 2019, I think.
And sat down and grabbed some coffee, and I said, hey, I got this idea for a record. I want to do a weird sense of place record. I had just read Ray Bradbury's Graveyard for Lunatics.
I never read it.
I gave him the book. He still hasn't read it yet. And it's a really fun kind of surreal type book that feels like you're in a fever dream in old Hollywood doing a murder mystery. And it's actually the middle book in a trilogy. I haven't read the other ones. I don't feel like I need to. So I have no context on the other
All the
characters.
action happens in the middle,
Exactly. So I'm just diving right in. And so I had this really strange experience with this book. And afterwards I'm like, I want to write a record. And so I came into Brandon, and we'd been working together, and we did some weird improv projects together. And Brandon's helped out with the Dementia Project, playing it live. You were the glockenspiel player.
That's right.
Just crushing it on
Crushing it, arguably because I was the only person who could really read music of the group.
It's true, and that made it kind of awesome too. At least read pitch notes.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody else read tab or just rhythm or something like that. But yeah, he helped out with that. He's played in some of the thrift store orchestra shows. I think there's a couple live videos of us jamming together on some K. Edward Smith tunes. And yeah, so we're he's great in the studio and runs his own mixing and mastering company and whatnot. Anyways, he's great. I can't talk enough up about Brandon, but we got working on this, and yeah, it turned into this really cool thing. So
Absolutely.
I thought tonight would be fun to kind of start to talk through some of the production things that we went through, listen through the tracks, and how it got from point A to point B. So I think Brandon has it queued up for the first one,
do.
or the whole thing, or what?
Or just the first one.
Okay.
That's usually where you start. Right?
Yeah, let's do Dreamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I added a record order.
There's a place for the dreamers. There's a little town very far from here. It's kind of hard to find.
Later.
This much.
I think that was me like playing the ride cymbal with
Yeah,
my
with your
hands.
hands,
It's
yeah.
just like it was like really close mic and like just fingertips like just super light, almost like you're getting I don't know like yeah.
It was one of the many things when we were doing, especially the drums and stuff up in your attic. We were just like, wait, let's keep going. Like that's good.
we
Like-
it was a lot of like us kind of screwing around on stuff. It was like, or you would say let's try this, and I did it, and then I'd be like and just did something to like screw around, and you were like, no, that's good, let's do that.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, that, and so the thought was you were doing something with the panning there, right? Pulling it
Yeah.
back and forth. It's kind of like a weird, surreal overture with it being. Okay, the thought process in the album was like where you have little vignettes. It's not necessarily like a straight narrative where you're following like the Wall, you know, where you're following this guy through this thing, or even like Joe's Garage or something
Right.
like that, where it's a little bit, even when it's kind of weird, it's still got more of a narrative running
Yeah.
through it. This is more like people and places snapshots into those lives, but we still wanted it to have kind of a cohesive feel, and with it being kind of set in this like classic Hollywood thinking like old soundtracks and stuff would have the big overture during the credits and then like the big credit music at the end
Absolutely.
and stuff like that. And so this was like, what's a really weird take on that?
No, and like the panning effect is like a true Doppler effect, as
Right.
in, old time Hollywood, as you can imagine, like a train driving by, and on each of the cars is another one of those songs that flies by.
Right, and it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah, one
So
goes that way, another goes that way.
You're
then
just
it goes
kind of
back
getting
again.
pulled into this dream or something like that as you're going, and I think it turned out cool.
No, it's just like, it was funny because like after like the first big bass note where the do 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 still happened on time, I'm like, damn, this record sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
It does. It's cool. It's different. Let's pull up Penny Picture Show. That's the next one. We do. I brought the CD because we're hipsters. Apparently, we're basement boys.
Basement boys.
We still listen to CDs. So this is the title cut, Penny Picture Show. This one's got all sorts of fun stuff on it. So the main riff is that tenor banjo.
Tommy was a brother in the Penny Picture Show.
Which was very hard to play along to.
It was.
Because it was very rarely the same.
Saving women in a straw every day at work. He threw
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Is that an accordion or like a squeeze box?
It's something.
Something.
It's something. It is, yeah, it is like a...
Like the old squeeze box thing. I think it was an electric version
Yeah.
of that, like a plug-in or something.
It was
femme fatale. She could smoke long
like a harmonium or something. I think.
Yeah.
on and on and on.
A little later.
Risers drinking. They says, hey, it's for the dialogue. While the bookkeeper, he's over in the corner shuffling
Makes me
decimals and
laugh
digits into different columns to
Oh, did they say it's for the dialogue?
While the director, he's out on the cutting floor. He's got a glass of bourbon.
Like when I was working on the lyric video, every time it would come up, I'm like,
It's just another day.
I'm just thinking about how many goddamn piano takes it took me to.
So we tried to do as many full takes on like the acoustic instruments as possible, and I think like for the banjo and the guitar, most of them were pretty full, and then we would go in and comp some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can only think of a few instances where there were any big edits. For the most part, it was straight through.
Heroes out
But
there.
yeah, playing along with with the weird banjo part.
It was not fun, I can tell you that.
Usually it's just somebody else looking for his key to the liquor drawer.
Because it's one of those like you get in the groove of finally, and then it changes at a different spot.
Right.
So,
Fill the glasses to the top.
I haven't dared try this one live yet. I don't have enough musicians right now, first off. But also, like, we'd have to figure something out structure-wise.
we sure would. I also like that this was the trap kit idea, like the very, very old school percussionist
It's just
vibe.
another day
Right.
at the Penny Picture Show.
The guy sitting off to the side during the silent film type of.
Right, making the sound effects.
Yeah,
The lines roar.
exactly.
Have you seen the ones where they had like a starter pistol built into the trap kit and
Yes.
stuff like that?
Yes,
It's nuts.
it is nuts. You got a stack of plates next to him and stuff.
Right.
Toss on the
Break 'em.
ground, yeah.
So we did for that one the drums. If I remember correctly, we took a bunch of cymbals and put them on top of the tom.
Yes.
And the cymbals on top of the tom. Like the hi-hat setup, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had the ride cymbal or not.
I'm not sure if we used the clutch at all. on the
Right.
hi-hats, but
Right.
yeah.
So it's just a lot of, and on the snare too, so it's just like this kind of weird clanky sound. And then we would take bottles, like here, let me see your bottle. And we would just do the in the background
Over and
too.
over again.
Yeah, and that was a trick we got from the Dementia soundtrack. I used that a lot.
Oh yeah,
On
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it just did, so it was that mixed with the trap kit type of thing,
Yeah.
that it's this like weird honky tonk almost.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, it's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, it's also some of my favorite lyrics of the record too. I think it's super fun.
Thanks.
Actually,
Yeah, the verse about Lucy.
Oh yeah.
I remember doing the vocal takes, and you were like, just do like beat poetry, just like get in the vibe and just roll with it. And I'm like, there's so many words to remember. But we got it.
And they, throw it out. Don't, stop thinking it's important. Just throw it out. Type of notes and stuff.
Yeah. And it turned out cool. Yeah,
It did,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of fun alliteration and just fun words to say. It's like pugilist, pug-nosed pugilist. It's just like
Yeah.
you can chew on the words almost.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
No, it does give that vibe of some mightier than thou rider who's just got like faced after a day and went down to the bar, stood on a table, was like, listen here.
Yeah. It's like a Bukowski poem or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, yeah. This is kind of a booze-filled album.
It is a
It's-
booze-filled album.
We weren't drinking much when we recorded it. No.
Not at all.
Maybe on like Preacher Joe, because that was like one of the last takes, and it was goofy. Maybe. And that was like vocal takes.
Yes.
But that was pretty much it. It was all.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we got together, it was pretty straight business. It wasn't.
No, it's just like it wasn't our fault. It took so long to.
Right.
to come
It
out.
was like
we were
we'd
quite
knock out
serious. Yeah.
like a day of recording and be like, great, let's meet next week, and then it'd be a
I'd
month.
and then and then when we're done recording, I'd like mix like everything and send it out to you. It's like, all right, here's some notes, and then life events would happen. We're like, all right, a month later, I have those revisions for you. And
Right.
ugh.
Cool. Let's check out the next one. This one's Ghosts, and this one is one of my favorites from the album, if not my favorite.
Oh, this one's my favorite. Easy, hands down.
Well, you got the great solo on there.
I mean, there's just so much good about this song.
I feel you here with me.
Did we record the rain and the street noise on this one?
Those who walk this run down the street.
No, that's
I wish it was
I
raining.
wish it was raining.
I think we might use some here too
Almost here
at the beginning, but
Maybe. Yeah, maybe some of the street noise opposed to the rain. I think we
Right.
used keep that kind of open.
1 hour later.
such a good solo, man. You play me that, I'm like, oh, this is good.
I mean, just the whole song was so. I mean, it was so fun and so just like easy to write to with all those extra parts in there. It just kind of all fell into place relatively easily.
Yeah. So I think I just had the guitar part and the words, like the acoustic part. And we kind of took it and built it up to this really soundscapey thing.
Absolutely, and then all those different parts that come in and out
Right.
and in and out. It just like it just builds in a really organic way, and it's just I don't know, it's just a great song.
You got a lot of like, was this the boat symbol and stuff we were doing on
Yes.
there? Were you doing any like stuff with the like digital glitch thing on this one?
No,
or is that-
this was clean.
Okay.
I did have a real like that comes in like 2/3 of the way through the verses, where the first time it's horns that
Right.
are like really kind of, tons of filters and stuff on them to make them not aggressive and come in gently and not be like, I'm a horn playing right now. And then
Right.
the second time it's woodwinds where I do the same thing, where it, like you can almost like, is that an oboe? It's kind of less like there, but like, felt more than heard type of parts that are in there.
Right. Which kind of just goes with the vibe of the song about like you're feeling this kind of ghostly thing, and it's like that's
So with like the the parts that come in and out, and like the really simple do piano part and
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's just I mean, like I said, very easy and organic to write to. It's just a well done song.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite on the album. Yeah, and we had Aaron Weinbrenner doing Upright.
Yes,
on
the whole
through
record.
the whole record. Yeah. He said this one was really fun to write too.
Yeah.
Because I remember sending the tracks off to him. This was way back before he moved out of the country, and we were going and doing a live show, and he's like, "Man, let's do Ghosts." And the other guy had been playing with. He's like, "No, I haven't learned that one. And the guitar part seems hard. It's not that difficult, but it's kind of a funky finger picking thing." And he's like, "No, let's do Ghosts because it was so much fun. I want to do that."
No, I mean it's just a testament to the song that like for him and I to add a little bit of extra on the side. It's just like your first intuitive idea you play and you're like, oh, this is. I mean, it's hard to write songs that feel that easy to write to.
Right. I wish all of them were like that.
Oh, man. So yeah, sometimes, other times it's hard, but I mean, even the stuff that's was kind of a hard to get through ends up becoming really great as well. But there's just something so satisfying about when it just goes and it's like, oh, that's so nice. That took us 20 minutes to do that.
Right. You're just in that flow state.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Let's do Brush It Away. This one might be my other favorite one.
I love the melody on Brush It Away.
Yeah. Now you weren't sold on this song to begin with.
Was I not?
No, because You were thinking of cutting it, and then we added drums, and you're like, "Oh, I like this."
I do remember this now. I do remember this now.
Because I was hearing it with drums in my head. I'm like, just wait, Brandon.
Trust me, it'll be good.
Because the acoustic part is really boring.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just kind of there as much for texture as anything else.
Will they see all those sleepless nights?
This is what I kept yelling to you about the lyrics too. You kept putting the original draft of the lyrics had a bunch of
like throwaway words,
like
and stuff.
berries and thes and all stuff, and
Kinda.
It was kindas. It was lots of kindas.
They kind of look like diamond lines. Or they kind of look like diamonds.
Oh, it's like, be definitive, damn it.
Never.
Will they see the icicles on my face? Brush it away, brush it away, brush it away. Let's take those years off of you today. Brush it away, brush it away, brush it away. You won't recognize yourself today.
How that piano thing at the top.
Brush it away, away.
So that like choir thing was, we were
Like
set up
3
in the
different
attic,
lines,
yeah. And it was like me yelling, not yelling, but like screaming, not yelling, screaming, singing, like down the stairs facing up. Most of the vocals we did were just set up in like the closet in my attic with like a camping mat on the back of the chimney space. And then there's like a staircase down to the regular floor of the house. And we just set up at different lengths, and it was a cool effect.
Oh, it was. No, I mean it was a immediate, easy chorus.
Yeah. We just used 2 mics on the drums, right?
Yeah,
We
3
had-
mics.
3.
No, it was 2.
It was 2.
Yeah.
And we had the one like really close to the floor tom, and then the other one way out.
Yeah. Because that was my idea for the approach for most of the record, was like really vintage 5e recording techniques, but then with really modern like mixing and post-production techniques.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do it the other way around, and I think it always sounds weird and wonky. And like I recorded 70,000 audio tracks, and now I'm gonna make all of them sound like trash together.
Right.
But I think it's more interesting to take something that's inherently limited and then like squeeze what you want into that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a better exercise in general.
This is another good solo. Just simple, but it's like so emotive.
Well, it's a cue off of the pacing of your verses and stuff, where there's that space in between, and even the chorus where you leave lots of space, where we come in with the next phrase, and it's just kind of a subconscious pickup from
Sure.
that.
Can you sell those to put them in guitars, subconscious pickups?
That's right. It's engage subconscious mode.
You can make a killing out of those at Sweetwater. This has got that subconscious
Got the
pickups.
subconscious pickup. Whatever you feel will come through, man.
Costs an extra $5,000 or something.
So I would argue I did not have a bad solo on this whole record. I had to fight you about one, but
Which one?
Feel Like Raining.
Oh yeah, I did. We'll get to that one.
My chorus sounds so nice and
Yeah.
open.
You won't recognize yourself today. Brush it away, brush it away, brush it away. Away.
Gentle and tender.
Yeah.
I think when I started working on the lyrics, it was like the image I had was like it's like this this washed up old actor like going in to get his makeup done for
okay.
the last or the next movie he's doing or something like that, and they're just like, it'll be okay, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a satisfying listen as well.
Yeah. I'm glad we put those early in the album.
Suck you in before it gets all bad.
We suck you in, or we do the weird one with Dreamers, and we put all the like,
put the hits
the hits first.
What's next on
Let's do Words Ran Away.
Because this was originally in a different order.
Mm-hmm.
This was the original. This one was fun as well.
Yeah, this one's just goofy.
My words ran away today, but that's okay. My words ran away today, yeah.
Just then.
That organ just.
My words ran away today, but that's okay. My words ran away today.
Later that night.
Can't believe my fears, I think they're falling downstairs. A whole lot of talking going on, but there's simply nothing there.
You like clearing of the throat. I always forget he did that.
This is one that you fought me really hard on because I didn't want to do like a solo here. I just played the melody.
Right.
Kept harping me to do a solo there.
I'm like, make it more raunchy. make it grosser.
My words ran away today, but that's okay. My words ran away today, yeah. My words ran away today, but that's okay. My words ran away today, yeah. Got 'em on the run, but I sure don't know what it means. Right when it's all sorted out, that's when I wake up to see.
Yeah, so you had like the spaghetti western thing going on there.
Lots of guitars on that song.
Right. Yeah, because you're right. Like we did a couple takes. I'm like, man, it's missing something.
Yeah, the one I had in there for forever was just I had that for forever, and you kept bothering me to change it. I kept saying no, I like it, and then you kept saying, but I'm paying you to make this record, and then I said fine.
That turned out cool.
That turned out cool.
So it worked out, or at least he's saying that.
No, it did turn out cool.
Yeah. That was the last one we did vocally too.
Yes.
Because you're like, okay, we're saving this one for when your voice is completely fried, and just go for it.
Yeah. No, it's fun and it's good. I think that song's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you get a little two-step raunchy guitar, and it's a banger.
It is
So,
banger.
Are the kids still saying that?
I don't think so.
We're basement boys. We don't know.
We're basement boys. Well, if anything, that'd make us more hip nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Being locked in the basement on the internet all day.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Is that still cool?
It's very cool.
Okay.
That's something the kids do say is touch grass.
Oh.
You need to touch grass.
You need to get out and touch grass.
Yeah.
In the meat space. I learned that phrase this week.
The meat space.
Go out in the meat space.
The meat space. I like the meat space.
Is that where I'm a vegetarian now, like, is that where you go find the meat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just everything outside is Jameson Meats, man.
Okay, there you go. Shout out to Jameson
Sound
Meats.
Jameson Meats.
Alright, let's do Preacher Joe, another fun one. This is probably the goofiest one on the
It is. I like it a lot, though. I like this one a lot.
This might be Aaron's favorite song that we do
Oh,
live.
of course it is.
Got the Macho Man voice on it.
Look outside, the sky is falling. Preacher Joe must be on his way.
It's crazy, those drums if you like.
Right?
So good. Huge.
He was kicked to the curb. Holy commotion, but he finally had something to say. Preacher Joe.
Ah, it's so gnarly.
Joe was a
I also love that just like cut, back. Just power there.
Neither stood a chance. He was shooting from the hips of Christ.
I love that too.
Gospel might not get you into heaven.
Now, these might be my favorite lyrics of all time.
So I sang this one at a brewery or a distillery in a town close to here. I won't say which, but small town Indiana. Lady covered the ears of one of her children when it got to that line.
Several song-filled hours later.
No dead men keep track.
Oh, I forgot about the dropout.
Yeah.
They're counting his sins 2 by 2 on their barbed wire abacus at night.
Cool tone on the bass too.
Oh yeah.
He's got a Molotov
Aaron did a great job.
Kitchen sink, but he's still being in Turkish delight. Hey, Preacher Joe, they'll hunt you down for sure. Hey, Preacher Joe.
3 hours later.
Oh yeah, so this is our long fade, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a fun one.
I don't care what anyone says, that's a good ass song. It really is.
Oh, man, thanks. I always feel weird singing that one, especially like at an acoustic, like just me solo show.
Especially knowing that that's what it can be sometimes.
Right,
An
it's
acoustic would be weird.
It depends on the crowd, however it goes over.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's fun.
Oh, that's just. I mean, that's just a good song.
We both grew up pretty church, so.
Well, it's not only that. It's just
yeah.
I mean, all the elements just like it's just big and nasty, and the vocally you perform it really well, so it's just like this really slimy.
Yeah, it's just grody.
I know, and that makes it so good and so satisfying to listen to. Even if you didn't even listen to any of the words, and you just, you were just hearing mouth sounds like that, and with the whole band going, oh, it's just good.
The mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel of all of it is so good.
Of the meat space.
The mouthfeel in the meat space. Well, that song really is a meat space.
Yeah, it is. It's about Joe's meat space.
Yeah, Joe's meat space.
So when I said this to Aaron, bassist Aaron, not my wife Aaron, we were talking in the car. He's like, I used to know, it was like a family member or something. There was like an old revival preacher called Johnny Talent down south.
Johnny Talent?
Right, like he's not making this stuff up, that had like the Elvis sideburns and everything. He's like, you need to write a song where like Preacher Joe and Johnny Talent like fight each other.
See each other strung out on the street.
Exactly. They're just like
you. I seen you.
They're just like fighting over the corner. They're fighting over the street corner.
The street corner, yeah, the soapbox on.
Exactly. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh, that's so good.
Walking song. This one was fun. It was weird. This whole album was fun and weird, though.
Yes, it was. It really was.
It's one of those that you're away from it for a long time, and then you come back around to it, and you're like, oh yeah, that is good. Oh yeah, it was fun.
Wait a second.
So it's like me walking on the wooden floor of the attic.
We like auditioned shoes and
Right.
like
We don't like the sound of those shoes.
we like moved where you were stepping and stuff to try to find a good place for
Right.
it.
I think we landed on that alcove facing north.
This room should be a singer's.
almost feel seasick listening to this one. It's kind of like
marble and stone.
is that?
If I could go curl up inside
I think that was the
jukebox, I
theme
would.
with the bow.
Like that from your home.
That's
It
exactly
was
what
so weird. Like it's so gross. But great.
Yeah.
But gross.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well, the sound space has a weird way of just like
Soul.
condensing itself and expanding itself in a
Right.
weird way.
Right. Were you doing like the same similar panning stuff, or is it just like the orchestration, like adding things
A
here?
lot of it's just orchestration based, and then like there's these other big sweeps and stuff where there's just like a crazy delay that comes in. The one before is like a low fidelitized MP3ifies a section, which just like you're just like losing elements, and it's just like this weird like I was already uncomfortable, now I'm slightly more uncomfortable. I don't know why, and then it releases again, and it like. Because of the nature of the tune, when it releases back, you don't lose any tension. It's just like, well, that was weird and uncomfortable, and I'm still weird and uncomfortable.
Ramps it up.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much of like panning in and out, the key and the cymbal and stuff, because all of it blaring all the time. It's like,
Whoa, right.
I mean, it's already pretty close to like, whoa, turn it down, but I try to keep it on the edge. I don't know how successful I was, but.
I like those shoes.
The following Thursday.
Man, that theme is just like electric bugs.
Yeah. It's great.
It's like what's that? It's like for electric violin or electric string quartet.
Okay.
It's like it's about the Vietnam War and like the opening movement. It's like all effect out like beyond the bridge.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not Threnody.
No.
Okay.
It's like it's something very like cliche, like Death Angel or something.
Okay.
But it's like in the
Gotcha.
70s classical.
Right.
I mean, it's just a walking at the end. Just a nice effect.
It took us forever to get the walking too, because I kept walking in time. And that didn't like we wanted it kind of off kilter. And
I think we just took the headphones away
Yeah.
for you and just had you walk, and I
Yeah.
told you, okay, you can stop now.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of the stuff was like that, where we just did like a full, just hit record, and like 5 minutes of bowing on the keying.
Those are all long takes. everything
And
on
then
there.
you're right, it's a lot of just kind of dipping in the volume fades and stuff to kind of orchestrate it from there, instead of just this wash of grossness.
Because I mean, especially you play a little conservative on the first couple takes or something, but by we're doing like the third run of the key and the bowed cymbal, you're just like, musicality's left us and we're into
Yeah.
fun sound land, which is, I mean, it's great that we have that stuff in there, and it plays out pretty well, I think.
Right. There was that one we took the trash can.
Yes.
And there's this metal trash can. I don't even remember how we got this trash can. Personally.
Oh yeah, at your place.
It just showed up at our place. It's like a possessed trash can or something. So we had a metal trash can. We took it. We put, what did we put in there? We put tambourines. We put sleigh bells.
Yeah, anything that could like jingle and make noise.
Metallical stuff. We put the toy piano in there.
Yes, we did.
And like just threw a whole bunch of stuff in there and just smacked the side like every couple. I don't even know if we had the headphones on. We were just like, you'd like point. And
Oh
smack
yeah,
it.
that's exactly what we did. Yeah.
Like okay, boom, and yeah, it played. It's a tense song, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
No, but it has enough that I mean, obviously not accessible to everyone, but
Right.
for those people who are into like more the noise and art music and that type of atmosphere like stuff, like there's a lot to dig in on that song, which is cool.
That's the one that we should like. They do the homegrown local artists on the local station. Be like, play my song, man, play my song. That and the Dementia soundtrack.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, particularly if you're into like stuff like Tim Hacker and stuff like
Right.
that. I think that's that's a cool song.
Oh, it's a cool song.
It's next song.
Let's do Soul My Guitar.
There's only so many songs.
There it is. Soul My Guitar today.
Sold Mount Guitars, I have labeled.
Mount. The mountain of guitars.
It's a good room sound we have there too.
Oh yeah.
I sold my guitar today.
I really like the drum sound on this one.
Yeah, this one too.
This might be the last song I ever play.
Just a killer cross stick, if I do say so myself.
I sold my guitar today. My guitar today.
The strings make it.
It was only worth $20.
Makes it real romantic. 'Cause, yeah, they never really resolved, but they're never that dissonant. They always kind of play in this area.
Right.
I remember balancing that last was a nightmare. It was always too loud, and then the second it wasn't too loud, you couldn't hear it. It sucked.
Right.
It's so hard balancing that thing.
Probably just the register,
Yeah, that's
Right.
absolutely what it is.
and with it being percussive.
I don't wanna say goodbye, but you know what it's like.
I forget how just like the piano and mandolin just kind of come in and come
Yeah.
out.
Some of that mandolin stuff, like you performed like closer and away from the mic to like do like
brought
a
myself in,
reverb
brought myself
thing.
out.
yeah.
I think it was intentional. I think that's just how it happened.
It works though.
Later that same evening.
Nice.
That's the last. Like it was worth dialing it in. It's beautiful.
No, that moment right there with the drive, I remember us fighting over what exactly to do there for a long time. too.
Right.
I don't remember what the two ideas were, but I'm glad we settled on that.
Right. Because it felt like it was a little too long or a little too short if we tried to chop off a section.
That's what it was. There's a whole section there. That's right.
Yeah.
To watch the sky at night.
And we're like, it needs some motion. And the drop really works though.
It does. I also like how this is still just kind of building it back out, but then taken away.
I sold my guitar today. This might be the last song I ever play.
Then it like falls apart. Yeah.
That's another good ass song.
Yeah.
That's just well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that Celeste in there and the strings that come in and out.
Yeah.
It's like vaguely reminiscent of Ennio Morricone and like
I love it.
what is it? The second Sergio Leone one. It's not Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More.
$2 more.
Where they have like the music box thing with the Celeste.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it made me think of.
Actually, it
And
might have been Toy Piano. I couldn't remember if it was Toy Piano or Celeste.
I don't think it was the toy piano, or it might have been.
Mm.
Regardless, that's what it made me think of, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Cool. I like it.
No, it's just I don't know. It's just a well written tune.
Yeah, these were fun.
Yeah.
All right, we got dos más. Two more for ya.
Two more.
Wish It Was Raining. So this is the one I fought you on the solo on.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think you ever stopped fighting me, and I just kept leaving it. That's how I remember it, at least. And then you eventually gave up.
So we recorded the rain because it was raining when we were recording this. It's like, ooh, let's record rain. Oh, and the drums were really weird for this one too.
Yes, they were. How do you play through some delays and stuff?
Right, I was playing with the delay, and that was just off.
Ooh, I wish it was raining. Maybe then you
Later.
It's like the brighter cousin of Walking Song.
It is.
They feel related.
said farewell.
No, this way you can just live in the song.
Just so many thick textures going on.
If only it would rain.
I think we left the rain going through the whole track.
Yeah.
I wish it was raining.
I think it's that section that took me a second to warm up too.
Much later.
All those pretty things inside my head. If only
Good old half
it
step.
would rain. I wish it was raining. I wish it was raining.
Yeah, that's one that I think you're right, and you can just sit there and live in it. And it's just
Oh, it's gorgeous. That sounds gorgeous.
the drums we did, like, I think we recorded the cross stay, like a clap thing.
Yeah, we did
And then-
standard backbeat, and then it was
We
a similar
took-
setup.
I think
with,
it was
like,
the same
cymbals.
one from Penny Picture Show where we did the cymbals. So you're like, you just hit the cymbals, and then you ran it with delay,
Yeah, back to you so you could play with it.
and that was kind of fun.
I'm sure as a drummer, that's like,
Yeah, I'm
whoa,
like,
what
wait,
the
what,
fuck?
what's going on here? But it was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
the
And the
reason-
solo is good.
Yes.
It's a good
The
solo.
reason you're so uncomfortable is because it was Dorian flat 2, the second mode of
There you go. And this is why I don't play at the jazz
Mon
jams, because that's the
Major.
vibe you get.
the monopage you're playing there is pretty cool. Because I mean, the reason I often fought for it is because, like, that little bit of tension, that's the immediate,
Right.
like uncomfortable, but it's back. It's just, like, slightly uncomfortable for a moment, and then it resolves itself in kind of a clean way.
And there's those little moments of, like, a stinger of tension where it'd be like one note on, like, a pad in the background
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
that just kind of holds on through a delay or something like that. And it's cool. It's like, and just, it's this, it makes the Wish for Rain, like, more, I don't know. It just makes
Yeah.
it feel more than just a pretty song.
No, and that, like, to the, the living at the depth of it, that, like, adds to it, that it's not just like clean cut section to section to section. It's this, again, more long form, full take performances of stuff
Right.
that helps it make it feel like this is like an alive space that I'm listening to, which
Right.
because it is.
Yeah. And we were able to capture a lot of that throughout the record.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
cool. It was tough. Maybe that's why it took so long. It's like, I'll be ready in a month.
That's funny. All right, then one more, right?
Yep, let's do the Have Your Pick of Poison.
The song I didn't get until you finally explained it to me. I'm like, oh,
Right.
It was after because I did a mix of it, and you're like, no, that's all wrong. It's terrible.
Right.
I said, what's wrong with it? And then you explained it, and I'm like, oh, wait a second, never mind. I know exactly what you're looking
Right.
for.
So it was like it needs to almost be kind of kitschy, like winking.
You said
Nostalgic, like saccharine sweet.
I remember you said it's just like to an end of like an Elvis movie or something. So you told me,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second,
Yeah.
okay.
And you had the hardest time doing steel guitar licks too. Like just figuring out which one we wanted.
So I remember that. That was not a good time for me. It was the opposite where I sat there because like I was so worried about overplaying that I kind of gave up on it, and I had you point at me when you wanted it to happen, and then
That's
I played
right.
away.
Maybe that should be the next record. Just
We both pointed at each
go
other
sit in an
every time.
instrument and point.
How did we get here? Where did the time go?
I forgot the end of the Elvis movie, but yeah, that's perfect.
Where did the time go? How did we get here? Where did the time go?
No, I like how your vocal drags a little bit through it. It's because you don't want it to let go. Almost,
Right,
you know, it's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Can you hear the voices? Can you see the sun? Rosy colored cabaret reaching back in time. Can you hear the voices? Can you see the signs? Where did the time go?
I like how you left that big dramatic breath in there.
I mean, because you gotta be able to start a phrase and end a phrase. You know, you need an entrance and exit plan. That's because the thing that made it so hard is because it is this delicate thing going on. So it's just like, we'll just slide up some guitar, and there's kind of like, oh, I don't know what to.
Right.
I don't want to step on too many toes.
You get the idea.
That's the same sound from Dreamers. I remember that we wanted it like bookends. There you have it. Yeah.
Not to toot our own horns or anything, but I think that's a pretty good record.
I think so too. From a couple basement boys.
Because just a couple of basement boys like, throwing down brewskis, recording Ray Bradbury.
There's a weird soundscape about Preacher Joe and Johnny Talent. And
there's weird kitschy nonsense and like an art house tune, and then
Right.
like a couple of like very solidly written, just like kind of like indie pop folksy numbers in there
right.
too.
And it feels like it has a coherence to it.
And I think
Like-
particularly just because especially that first number, I think really sets it up for that.
Yeah. I'm glad we kept that one in there. That one took a while because I'm like, I wasn't sold on the spoken word at the beginning, but you're like, no, this is like a lullaby. This is like you're setting up like a story, and I think you're right.
It needs some mystique to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it works. It's cool. So cool. Brandon R. Williams, extraordinaire.
That's right.
And yeah, cool. I'm gonna hit stop now.
So yeah, it was really fun hanging out with Brandon. He's a good dude, and anytime we get together and start talking about music or making music together, it's a fun time. If you are in the Fort Wayne area or close by and you need somebody that's a production wizard or just a great guitar player, or just a good hang. He's a good dude. So be sure to hit him up and check out his own solo stuff. I'll put links to his website as well as places for listening or purchasing physical copy of Penny Pictures Show in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying this and you want to see more behind the scenes type things, or just keep in touch about new music, you all know what to do with the subscribe and like and all of those internet things. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.
Picture show.